Heaven is not a democracy. A democracy is something that they started in America. But heaven itself is not a democracy. It is one man rules. And it is one man who decides how everything goes. And that's because this man knoweth all things. So if he knoweth all things, who should he go to for advice? So he knows what he wants to do, and he executes that, and everybody follows. America is a democracy, but heaven is not a democracy. So don't expect God to judge man based on democracy. He saves who he wants, he forgives who he wants, and if he doesn't feel like he needs to forgive your sins, he's not going to. His orders are his orders. You cannot use democracy to defy or to dissolve the orders of God when he said he wants one thing. So again, we continue on the whole subject of woman and of woman's authority. And I'm going to show you one thing that you never pay attention to. What if I tell you that it is because of the dysfunctionality that the world has been enduring when it puts the woman in charge, in that place of authority where the man needed to be? What if I tell you if that order, that problem is responsible for what causes gay, homophobic situation? And the way that works by universal law is that, as I have said in the video prior to this, if the man is in the woman's place, then the woman is in the man's place. Therefore, when the woman seeks for a man, a woman answer to that call. When the man seeks for a woman, a man answer to that call. Because the whole thing is dysfunctional. And this is why you have the homophobic situation. You see, the woman is so ambitious, trying to be that person in authority. I don't know what she gets out of that. What is in it that makes it so sweet for her to want to get into that place? It is as sweet as temptation, and temptation comes from the spirit of darkness. You see, what is working in her and that is convincing her to be this thing and to have that appetite for power. It's not really her, but it is a desire of the demonic forces that influences her. She's being ruled by the spirit of darkness, by the devil, the forces of the Antichrist and of the beast, to carry out their agenda while the man sits not watching his position, not guarding his position through prayer and worship to God and through praises to his God, while he sat there idle and not worshiping God, the woman who is subjected to him is now becoming his leader, or is now subjecting him to her. And because of the fact that she listened to the enemy, which is Lucifer, because she have this appetite for power and authority, and Lucifer promised her power of authority. He's showing her all the things that she can attain, that she cannot obtain, how she can get her own place, her own kingdom, her own everything, and does not need the man to do all of that, because she can have this authority and this authority even over the man. That is a temptation that the devil brings before the woman. And the woman bought that temptation. She bought into it. So by the time the man is awoke from his place of not worshiping God, not praising God, not praying, not seeking the face of God for instruction on how to execute the will of God on the earth that God has given him to manage, because he lacks this connection and this communication with God. What is to be subjected to him is now subjecting him. So he's now being led by this subjective force. The first thing that the subjective spirit does when it subjects the man is that it takes away his power and his authority. And the man, in agreement to this subjective spirit that the woman brings, gave up his power and his authority to her to govern over her. Now, the minute that he does that, the world is in darkness, because now you're being led by the forces of darkness, and they govern you, they govern over your life, because the woman was listening to the devil. And this is the Illuminati forces. The Illuminati forces. This is how it works. So now the Illuminati forces is in charge to illuminate you on the things that seems to you to be light, but they are darkness, because they are separated from God, because it was the man who separated himself from God first. Therefore, his precedent and authority was forfeited when he forfeited the will of God, when he walked outside of the presence of God. So now he's being led by the spirit of the woman, by the subjective spirit. The reason why it is a subjective spirit is because the spirit is not supposed to be. You're not supposed to be under the spirit. So then when you come under the spirit, you're under the subjective spirit. And this is what the woman brings to the table. Just at the beginning, when she had communicated with the enemy of God and have subjected the man to this force, this power, this authority that is below the man. So the man gave up his authority and gave his power to the woman to rule the world. Now, as the woman rules the world, the devil rules the world. Because it was the devil that subjected her, and the man is under the spirit that subjected her. Anytime you allow somebody to subject you who is under a subjective spirit, then you are also subjective, but at a lower subjection than the person who themselves are subjective. So the woman is subjective to the spirit of the enemy, which is Lucifer, the illuminator. And she comes with all these ideas, these bright ideas.